23 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I want to tell you a real quick story about two brothers. I grew up on Long Island in New York, just a suburb of New York City, and the two brothers I want to tell you about, 2 years apart from one another. One brother ended up working in Wall Street, had a really good paying job. The other brother stayed on Long Island, and he was a janitor in a school. And so I'm telling you their story. I guess this would have been back in the late 70s, maybe. So now, how do you think they're doing? The brother who was the janitor is actually the one financially better off. The one who was on Wall Street, and he's not poor in any way, but he's living on Long Island somewhere, not doing as well. And the guy who was the janitor moved down to Naples, Florida, lives in a beautiful home, and is always the go-to guy for handouts, not from me, but from his brother, which you just have to figure why. What is it that people do that makes them better off than other people? You would think that the guy who worked on Wall Street, it's kind of like the rabbit and the what do you call it, the hare and the turtle.
Yes,
it's kind of like that story, right? On the phone is somebody who might be able to help us be the tortoise who wins instead of the hare who loses. Stephen Gardner is the founder of the Safe Millionaire Club. He's a business manager, a best-selling author. His book is called, very clever title, by the way, A Bridge Over Troubled Wall Street, How to Avoid Wall Street and Beat the Banks. Not that we're picking on Wall Street necessarily, but I think you'll get the picture. Stephen Gardner, good morning, sir.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Where are you right now?
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah, and the weather is great.
So you're safe. You're far away from Wall Street. You don't really get sucked into that whole that whole thing, right?
You know, I was on Wall Street with my money, and 2008 slapped me pretty hard with a 38% loss, and so I said I would never go back again, and that really set me on a journey to figure out, okay, there's got to be a better way to save and invest and grow your money that doesn't involve Wall Street and the fees and all the risk. And so that's what really set me on my journey. But yeah, I stay as far away from Wall Street as I can.
So the red flag goes up when we hear people talking about there's a better way, because if you go into the door of the insurance company or the stockbroker or something, and you sit across the desk, you know they're going to try to sell you something that's going to make you better off. You're going to buy something that makes you better off. And so we're always cautious. We're always skeptical about things like that. So the book helps us find our way through that maze. Am I right about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's trying to pitch a better mousetrap, but the book is going to walk you through a specific strategy that clients have used for a very long time. And the main premise of it is, should you have a contract in place on how your money should grow? Should you be able to clearly understand how an investment works and how your money will grow? And Wall Street, unfortunately, has done a very good job of getting us to outsource our brains and our money to them and let them do what they will with the money. And history has shown us that overall they don't really do that well with the money. And so the book will clearly walk listeners through exactly what to do, how to grow their money, what to look for with their current advisor so they're not being ripped off in fees and getting taken advantage of.
And there's also the issue of self-control involved, because I know I could have been saving all these years and had a really good nest egg now, but when my children were growing up, I was more interested in taking them places on vacations and things and just having them enjoy life.
Yeah, I mean, those things are important. I believe that savings, you should look at savings like a bill. You got to pay yourself. You know, most gurus will recommend, minimum of 10%. You should at least be worth 10% of your own efforts. But yeah, you got to set that money aside. The story that Larry was sharing is very familiar. The person who starts saving earliest can usually outpace someone who starts later in life. But that doesn't mean that later in life you can't still build up a nice nest egg for yourself.
So that's kind of where we want to find out from you how the book can help us. Do you advise us to stay away from stocks completely, or are there some good ones and some bad ones? And if I could just throw something into the mix here, the Star Wars movies coming out, and so there's a lot of hype around it right now. So we were looking at the dollar amounts that the movies made that starred, what's the lady's name? The Princess Leia lady.
Oh, Carrie Fisher.
So Carrie Fisher was in a lot of movies in her career. And if you look at the dollar amount that was invested into each movie and the amount that it made, most of them lost money. Now, Star Wars made a lot of money, but most of them lost money. Is that the same way with Wall Street, where most things are dangerous?
You know, I'm not a complete hater of Wall Street. I personally stay away from it. I just ask my clients, how much risk exposure should you really have? You know, should you be putting everything into Wall Street, or should you be diversified in things that you can control and understand better? So, you know, as far as the Star Wars goes, that franchise is making an absolute killing. There's no reason that Disney would have purchased that from Lucas for untold billions of dollars if it wasn't a profitable franchise. But with anything on Wall Street, you just have to be cautious and really understand what's going on. What Wall Street is a genius at doing is making people believe that they're saving when really they're investing. And what I mean by that is saving is money that I don't expect to ever lose, and investing is money that there comes some risk with that, and I'm okay with that. I understand the risk. It's calculated. But they've brainwashed us with really excellent marketing to believe, oh, I'm saving in my 401k. Well, as soon as that goes onto Wall Street, you've got 100% risk exposure from the moment your money enters the market. So they've done a phenomenal job of marketing and having us believe that we are safer than we really are.
And you're just not giving advice. You actually have lived this. You've experienced the loss of some of your retirement money.
Yeah, you know, I work with about 500 families a year all across the country, and, you know, many of them, just about everyone I talk to, nearly 100% of everyone I talk to lost money in 2008. There were only a few areas that really didn't lose money, and it's unfortunate, but yes, I did. I lived through that and decided, you know what, I need more control and predictability. I need to understand stuff. I need to be a little bit more hands-on and not outsource my future to somebody else as much. And unfortunately, many people, they've continued to place their money in Wall Street. We're now back into it, and it's built up this incredible momentum up until, you know, about a month ago when all of a sudden the market dropped by 10%. And so we've had this false sense of security on Wall Street, and they do a very good job when the market drops. They cover that up with other stories, and they talk about what is being successful. But the reality is the Dow Jones is down, the S&P 500 is down, and people are now going to have to take, you know, maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years to get back to break even.
So whatever alternative is recommended, doesn't Wall Street have an effect on that, whatever the alternative is?
Yes and no. It just depends. There are things out there called non-correlated assets. So there are opportunities where you can grow your money without a correlation to Wall Street. You know, it really depends on the place where you're growing your money. So just about everything lost in 2008, and it was very unfortunate. But I know many clients and many investors that were in real estate. They were inside of collective trusts and REITs and other things like that, where they didn't suffer losses because there were physical buildings backing their money. There was risk management that was involved. So it just really depends on what you're trying to do. With the strategy that's mentioned in the book, I know many people that didn't lose any money during 2008, and in fact had very good years. And the strategy that is backing the concept in the book is real estate related. And real estate during 2008 did take some hits, but not people that were positioned correctly. If you were buying jumbo loans and mortgages, you probably, you know, took it in the shorts if you were trying to buy and flip real estate. But if you were holding real estate or you were dealing in commercial real estate, for the most part, people didn't have the same effect that other sectors of investing had.
The book is called A Bridge Over Troubled Wall Street. Stephen Gardner is the author. I have a copy of the book. Call me if you want the copy that was sent to us. The rest of us have to go buy it in the stores or online. Stephen, do you have a website?
Yes, if they want to check out alternativemoneyreport.com, I've got a free 10-page report just for your listeners that they can go and read about what an alternative investment is. I list in there 5 or 6 different options that they can research. If they'd like to learn more, they're certainly welcome to reach out to us. But alternativemoneyreport.com, or we do have a short code we could give out if people would rather text in to get that sent to them directly.
Okay. Do you announce that? Can you give us what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. If they will text the word bridge to 58885 and include their name and email, our system will automatically email them out that 10-page report. So the short code, again, text the word bridge along with your name and number, and email to 58885, and our staff will go ahead and get that out to them today.
All right. I think that's the first time we had somebody offer that kind of a thing. Stephen Gardner, thank you so much. Again, the book is A Bridge Over Troubled Wall Street. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine mixed with clouds and breezy today with a shower in spots along the coast, the high 82 to 86. Partly cloudy tonight with lows in the mid-60s inland, low 70s along the coast. Times of sun and clouds and breezy tomorrow with a shower in spots, especially during the afternoon hours over the interior areas, the high 83 to 87. For Sunday, clouds and sun with a passing shower, high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
We're saving thousands with Robert Palmer.
So rule number 1 is always shop around. Always shop around. If you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're trying to get the best credit card, if you're looking at student loans, cell phone bills, you name it, rule number 1 is always shop around. Always shop around.
That's rule number 1, just one more vital part of fighting back to stop being a financial zombie. Yes, you can take the mystery out of the complicated world of finances. Take charge when it comes to your money. Listen in on The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, Saturdays at 12:05.
Many of us are thinking about continued education for better job opportunities, and here is the place to learn what is available to you right in your own backyard. On Wednesday, October 28th at 10:05 a.m., Webster University, the College of Central Florida, St. Leo University, and the University of Central Florida will be our guests to let you know about the programs they offer. So be sure to tune in to AM Ocala Live on WOCA The Source at 10:05 a.m. on October 28th to learn what higher education opportunities are available to you.
I'm having a hot flash, a tropical hot flash. My personal summer is really a bummer. I'm having a hot flash.
Menopause the Musical, the off-Broadway sensation, proudly presents the Survivor Tour.
Coming to the Curtis M. Phillips Center November 11th.
$2 per ticket sold will be donated to Susan G. Komen through June 30th, 2016.
For tickets, visit performingarts.ufl.edu.
I'm having a hot flash. Ooh!
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Over the past 10 years, most fire stations phased out the poles and replaced them with either stairs or the latest weapon in firefighting, the fireman's slide. Simply locking eyes with somebody makes them seem more attractive than someone who isn't looking your way. You're going to love this new type of therapy. It's bibliotherapy. Basically, a therapist recommends books to help you work through whatever issues you may have.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little